A couple years ago, I was surfing with a couple friends at a local beach. Waves are small, we're all having a great time. I had just taken a wave and was paddling back out to catch some more. As I'm doing so, I see my friend on a wave. He ends up falling. He doesn't have a leash, and it wasn't a big deal. Waves are small. I was able to grab a hold of the board before it went into shore. And trying to be a courteous friend, I actually began paddling with his board in my hand, and so he didn't have to swim as far to get his board back. We made it to each other about 6 feet away. I said thank you. I said no problem. Thought he was making eye contact with me. I had my palm right on the rear of his board, lunged it right at him. I guess he didn't see it. He put his head down to take a couple more paddles towards me, and I saw the board skimming across the water right towards his head. So I screamed his name. He ended up popping up, and the board went straight into his teeth. Teeth went flying. Not a good situation. Out of that event, there's definitely some things that could have been taken in place to avoid that situation entirely. Got super fortunate. His mom was a dentist. He ended up getting his teeth fixed that day, and he was very forgiving, understood it was kind of a freak accident. So I was very appreciative of that. But overall, surfing is super fun. Separate from that, it's become one of my passions. I've started over 4 years now, and it's just a great, healthy activity to do. So during COVID-19, it changed the ballgame of surfing. The population increased dramatically. A study done by Old Dominion University mentions that, quote, participants, surfers, also reported seeing more people in the water. In some cases, that was due to unemployment, and others, more people were learning how to surf because of a lack of other safe activities to do. So with all the new people out in the water, safety is more important than ever. There's a couple steps and points I've compiled that are probably the most important about being safe in the water. That's knowing your abilities, learning surf etiquette, and having the proper gear. My first point, knowing your abilities and being familiar with the ocean is probably most important. Kind of common sense. When you're going out in the water, consider wave height, currents, potential forecasted storms, rocks, terrain, stuff like that. Stop Drowning Now estimates that over 3,500 to 4,000 drownings occur in the U.S. alone. And the CDC reports that, quote, more than half of fatal and non-fatal drownings among people 15 years and older occur in natural waters like lakes, rivers, and oceans. So doing this, taking into account, knowing your skill will help you out tremendously. And also, in addition to that, choosing a more beginner beach will help you out. That leads me into my next point, surf etiquette. There's a priority system out in the water. Who's ever on the wave first claims it, it's theirs, don't go for it. The reason being is if you paddle for that, you're going to potentially get in their way and cause a collision. So right here I have a picture of a surfer who did not look and notice that this person who has priority is already on the wave, and he is attempting to paddle into it, and there's a clear collision that's going to occur. So it's important to know that and understand and build that habit of looking over your shoulder and not getting it in anybody's way. So having a beginner beach is better because people kind of recognize there's more beginners out, people are more forgiving, and the waves are usually more gentle as well. Another part of surf etiquette is having your own gear. I've made that its own point because it doesn't only protect you, it protects others. Leash, wetsuit, and type of board are all the examples pretty much. Your protection from your wetsuit is going to be from cuts or lacerations from fins, rocks, and your leash, probably the most important item, I have a leash right here, is an elastic rubber cord that attaches to one of your ankles to your board. And that would have avoided the entire situation I described earlier if my friend had been wearing a leash. One of the last things to consider with gear is if you're completely starting out, you're a complete new person, is using a soft top surfboard. What that is, it's a high dense foam surfboard. It has no hard edges. The fins are plastic. They're a lot more buoyant, easier to ride. There's another study at American Academy of Family Physicians. They mentioned that, quote, most surfers are injured from contact with their own surfboard side rails and fins. So having a soft top would definitely reduce that. So considering implementing these steps will drastically reduce your chances of getting hurt or hurting other people. In conclusion, with everything put in place, surfing can be so fun. It can be magical. It's so amazing just to get out, be under the sun, be in the ocean, and have an activity to do in it. What not to do is buy a brand new board, don't put thought into it, put on some swimwear, go out without thought. Definitely know your abilities, learn your etiquette, and wear the proper gear for sure. Thank you.